am Lakshmi Prasanna, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. So in this session, we will discuss about the pin configuration of 8051 microcontroller. So before starting the pin configuration of 8051 microcontroller, we will see first what is meant by microcontroller. Here the two terms are there. One is micro, another one is controller. Okay. So here this is a micro and this is called controller. So together called microcontroller. So here generally micro stands for small and controller, it is used to control all the operations. So here microcontroller is a small and low cost computer which is designed to perform a specific task of embedded systems. So for example, if you take embedded system applications which includes number of tasks inside, by using these microcontrollers, we can perform specific task in that big application. So for example, if you take some embedded system applications like displaying microwave information, so receiving the remote signals. So all these are some one task in the embedded system applications. So if we take for example microwave ovens, so it consists of number of tasks inside, like displaying what is the temperature inside and saying how many number of rotations the dish has been done. Okay, so fixing all the temperature values, settings and all. So among those all tasks, these microcontrollers will be used in order to perform a specific task in a big embedded system applications. Now, so the general microcontroller consists of some different components like processor, memory. That means here if you take microcontroller, all the components will be inbuilt. So that is why microcontroller is called computer on a chip. So if you take this microcontroller, it consists of a number of components embedded inside the microcontroller. So here what are all the components means processor will be there and it will have inbuilt memory. Okay, so here memory may be either RAM. So here RAM stands for random access memory and the memory inside the microprocessor, that is embedded memory is there, which comes under ROM. So ROM stands for read-only memory and it also consists of EPROM. So EPROM stands for erasable programmable read-only memory. So inbuilt processor is there, inbuilt memory, all these types of memories are there. And also it consists of inbuilt serial ports and some other peripheral devices like timers and counters. So all these are different components that are present inside a microcontroller. That means all these components are embedded inside a microcontroller. But while performing a specific task, the microcontroller is going to use some of the components among all these that are related to that particular application. Now, so here as we have seen all the peripherals like processor, memory and serial ports, timers and counters, all these are embedded inside a microcontroller. That is why microcontroller is called computer on a chip. So here what is meant by computer on a chip means the microcontroller, since it is having all the components embedded on a single chip, so we can call the microcontroller as a computer on chip. Now, so microcontrollers are dedicated devices embedded within an application. So suppose if we take any embedded application which consists of number of tasks, by using this microcontrollers, we can perform a dedicated task, that is a specific task among n number of tasks in that particular embedded application. Now, so here microcontrollers are based on CMOS technology. So generally here there are different technologies in order to fabricate these ICs. These microcontrollers are fabricated based on this CMOS technology. So if you use this CMOS technology, what is the advantage means the size of the IC will be reduced and also power consumption will be less. Now, so here on-chip peripherals. So here microcontroller is having different on-chip peripherals like processor is there and also memory is there. It also consists of serial ports, timers and counters. So all these are called the peripherals and all these peripherals are on-chip peripherals. That means on the microcontroller, that means embedded in the microcontroller, all these peripherals are embedded. And among all the peripherals, based on the task the microcontroller is going to perform in an application, only particular peripherals will be selected. So whatever based on the application, based on the task that it has to perform in that application, among all the peripheral devices that are embedded inside the microcontroller, only some devices will be used. Now, so here microcontrollers are powerful digital processors. So why these microcontrollers are called powerful digital processors means the degree of control and also the programmability they provide enhances the effectiveness of the application. So that is why they are called powerful digital processors. And so if you see here the applications of microcontroller can be used in different applications in order to perform particular task. So here if you see the applications in washing machines, okay, VCD players, microwave ovens, robotics, okay. So in all these applications like industries for automobile applications and all automation and all, in order to provide in industries we are going to use this microcontrollers. Now, we have to know before using a microcontroller what are different advantages the microcontroller is going to have. Now, so as the peripherals are integrated on a single chip, the overall system cost is very less because all the peripheral devices that we have are inbuilt. So that is why the cost of the system is very less. No external components here. So the peripherals are integrated within a microprocessor. The system is more reliable. So this is more reliability is also one of the advantage. And so though the microcontroller is having inbuilt memory, that is ROM and RAM, and it also consists of IO ports inbuilt, and if that capacity of the memory, that is ROM and RAM, if it is not sufficient, there is also possibility of adding the additional ROM, RAM and IO ports to this microcontroller externally. So if internal memory is not sufficient, there is also possibility to connect external memory if required. And so on-chip ROM provides software security. And all those are different advantages of using a microcontroller. Now, so we should know here what are different types of microcontrollers. So here microcontrollers are classified into different categories based on some specifications like the number of bits, what is the size of memory, and also how the memory is, like whether it is externally connected or whether it is embedded memory, and based on the architecture and based on the instruction set, like how the instruction set is there, whether it is RISC or CISC. Okay, so based on all these categories, the microcontrollers are classified. Next, so here if you consider the first category, based on bits, the microcontrollers are classified into 8-bit. We have 8-bit microcontroller, 16-bit microcontroller, and also 32-bit microcontrollers. So here, when we say that the microcontroller is 8-bit means based on the size of the data bus. Okay, so if the data bus size is 8-bit, it is called 8-bit microcontroller. If the data bus size is 16-bit, it is called 16-bit microcontroller. And if the size of data bus is 32-bit, it is called 32-bit microcontroller. Now, and here coming to the second category, the microcontrollers are classified based on the memory also. So here based on the memory, that means whether the memory is external memory or whether the memory is embedded memory. That means to the microcontroller, whether the memory is located externally, and to some microcontrollers, the memory will be inbuilt. So that is what we call as embedded memory. So based on the memory also, the microcontrollers are classified. Next, and based on the instruction set. So based on this instruction set category, the microcontrollers are classified based on this CISC and RISC. So here CISC stands for Complex Instruction Set Computer and RISC stands for Reduced Instruction Set Computer. So here why it is called Complex Instruction Set Computer means here in order to perform any operations, so if it is CISC, only one instruction we can use and that instruction will perform many functions. But whereas if you come for the RISC, it is Reduced Instruction Set Computer. So here reduced instruction set computer means the instruction set will be simple. In order to write the program to perform a specific task, we have to use more number of instructions. So based on all these categories, the microcontrollers are divided into different types. So we have many microcontrollers, but among all that microcontrollers, here we are going to learn in detail about 8051 microcontroller. Now, so here based on bits, we have to talk about now 8051 microcontroller. So this 8051 microcontroller comes under either 8-bit or 16-bit or 32-bit. Now, so here based on the bits, we are talking about 8051 microcontroller now. So this 8051 microcontroller is an 8-bit microcontroller. That means here the type of microcontroller is, 8-bit microcontroller is used to execute arithmetic and logical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So for example, if you take this 8-bit microcontroller, so we have this 8051 microcontroller as a 8-bit microcontroller. So simply to say here, this is a 8-bit microcontroller. We also have 16-bit microcontroller and 32-bit microcontroller. But here 8-bit microcontroller is called simple processor. Okay. So here this 8-bit microcontroller is used for simple applications. But whereas 16-bit microcontrollers can be used for higher applications. Whereas 32-bit microcontrollers can be used for complex applications, because in automatic controlled systems and all, we will use 32-bit microcontrollers. So that is why the 32-bit microcontrollers will be used in complex applications. So our 8051 microcontroller comes under this 8-bit microcontroller. Next. So here based on memory, the microcontrollers are classified into external memory and embedded memory. But here if we talk about 8051 microcontroller, it comes under embedded memory microcontroller, because 8051 microcontroller is a microcontroller which is having inbuilt memory. So this type of microcontroller is designed in such a way that the microcontroller has all program and data memory. Along with that is ROM and RAM. and timers, interrupts, IO ports, serial ports, everything will be there embedded on a single chip. So that is why it is called embedded memory microcontroller. And the example of microcontroller which comes under this embedded memory microcontroller is 8051 microcontroller, and it is a Intel microcontroller. And so now coming to the detailed discussion about this 8051 microcontroller. So Intel first designed microcontroller is 8051 microcontroller. And this 8051 microcontroller is a 8-bit microcontroller because it is going to perform arithmetic, logical, division or multiplication only on 8-bit. That means its data bus size is of 8-bit. So here 8-bit microcontroller means the reading operation, writing operation, the data that is going to process, everything will be done in terms of only 8-bit data. Now, so here coming to the basic components that are available inside this 8051 microcontroller. The basic components are, one is CPU. So here CPU is nothing but microprocessor. Another basic component is RAM, ROM and IO port. We have timers and serial ports also. So all these are the components that are embedded on a microcontroller. Now we have to see, all these are the components. Now we have to see what is the capacity of each component. So first if you see here, we have written RAM, ROM. Now we have to see what is the size of that ROM, what is the size of the RAM and all. So here it is ROM. So this is ROM. Okay. So 4 kilobytes of ROM is available. And coming to here, another basic component RAM, 128 bytes of RAM is there. And so coming to here, the IO ports, 4 IO ports are there. That is port 0, port 1, port 2 and port 3. So totally 4 ports are there. Each port size is of 8-bit. And so here coming to the timers, 2 timers are available, that is timer 0 and timer 1. So among the 2 timers, each timer is of 16-bit in size. And another one is serial communication port. So here one serial communication port is available in order to communicate with the external devices. That is, this is a serial communication port which is going to perform the communication, transmitting the data and receiving the data. So all these are the internal components that are embedded inside a microcontroller. So here these are the components for 8051 microcontroller. Now coming to the block diagram of 8051 microcontroller. So here this is, as we have seen, the basic components. It consists of, here the features and all we have seen. It consists of CPU, that is microprocessor. And here this is the interrupt control, that is one unit which is going to handle all the external interrupts that are produced by the external devices. And here this is OSC, which represents oscillator circuit. And this is the unit which is going to produce the clock frequency. And here this is 4 kilobytes of ROM and 128 bytes of RAM. So these together forms the memory unit. And here these are the 2 timers, timer 1 and timer 2. That is 2 timers are there. Each timer is of 16-bit. Another one is, it is having one serial communication port, and it also consists of 4 IO ports. So here 4 IO ports are port 0, port 1, port 2 and port 3. So these are the 4 IO ports. All the 4 IO ports are bidirectional ports. That means they can use as both input and output pins. Okay. So each port size is of 8-bit. And here this is the bus control unit which controls all the operations. So all these are the components that will be there in the block diagram of 8051 microcontroller. So we will discuss about this in detail about each block, that is internal blocks that are available in this block diagram while seeing architecture of 8051 microcontroller. Now, coming to the features of 8051 microcontroller. So it is having 8-bit data bus. The data bus size is of 8-bit and it is having address bus 16-bit. So you will have here data lines in the pin diagram, because in this session we are going to discuss about the pin diagram. So since here the data bus size is 8-bit, you will have the data lines in the pin diagram, that is from D0 to D7, that is data lines, and 16-bit address bus it is saying. So you have 16 address lines, that is from A0 to A15. Okay. And so 4 register banks will be there. Bank 0, Bank 1, Bank 2 and Bank 3. Internally each bank again consists of different number of registers. So here, that is why, because of these 4 register banks, internally each register bank again consists of some 8 registers are there. So here, that is why 32 general purpose registers. Okay. So totally 4 register banks. Each register bank has 8 registers. So totally 8 into 4, 32. So these are the 32 general purpose registers. Each register is of 8 bits. Now, and another registers that are available is program counter and DPTR. So here DPTR stands for data pointer. So this program counter and DPTR both are of 16-bit in size. And so it is having 4 kilobytes of ROM. So here ROM means read-only memory. We can also call this as program memory. So ROM is a program memory, whereas RAM is data memory. And 128 bytes of RAM is available, that is random access memory. We can also call this RAM as data memory, because whatever the program we are writing, code we are writing, it will be stored in ROM. And other than program, if you are writing anything, that information will be stored in the RAM. That is why one is called program memory, RAM is called data memory. And it consists of 2 16-bit timers. So 2 timers are there, timer 0 and timer 1. Each is of 16-bit. And 4 8-bit ports are there, that is 4 ports totally, port 0, port 1, port 2 and port 3. Each port is of 8-bit in size. Now, another features are 8051 also consists of 3 internal and 2 external interrupts. And it has 1 serial communication port, that is UART, Universal Asynchronous Receiver Transmitter. And the registers, some of the registers that are available in this 8051 microcontroller, some of them are bit addressable and some of the registers are byte addressable. And so in order to execute 1 machine cycle, it requires 12 clock cycles. So those are some of the features of 8051 microcontroller. Now, coming to the pin diagram of 8051 microcontroller. So this is the pin diagram. Totally the number of pins that are available here are 40 pins. Okay. So here all these 40 pins are arranged in the dual inline package. As we have seen in the features, it is having 4 ports. Each port is of 8-bit. So here are the 4 ports. So this is related to port 0 up to here. So since it is 8-bit, you will have from P0.0 to P0.7. Okay. So this P0 stands for, it is port 0. And after this point, it indicates the pin number, port pin number. So these are the 8 pins related to port 0. And if you see here, these are the 8 pins related to port 1. And you can see here, these are the pins related to port 2, P2.0 to P2.7. And also these are the pins related to port 3. So that is P3.0 to P3.7. Okay. So totally 4 ports are there. Each port size is of 8 bit. And so here each port will be having dual functions. Okay. So 2 functions can be performed by single pin. So if you see here, these are the port 0 pins. It can act as port pins in one case. In another case, they will be acting as address data lines. Okay, so 2 functions are there, port pins as well as address data lines. And so if you see here, this port 2, it is also having 2 functions. So in one case, they will be acting as port pins. In another case, they will be acting as simple address lines. And so here if you see, this is port 3. So this port 3 also has 2 functions. So in one case, they will be acting as port pins. Okay. So up to here only port 3. Okay. So this is port 1 up to here. This reset comes under the normal signal. And so this port 3 also have different function. So they act as port pins and also they act as another function. So each signal will be having its individual function. And only one port, that is port 1, has single operation. That means here port 1 pins will be used only as IO pins. It is not having 2 functions like port 0, port 2 and port 3. Port 1 is meant for single purpose. So they can be used only as IO pins. Okay. So totally these are all the pins. And we can see here, this is VCC power supply and VCC, and also you can see ground. So these are the 2 power supply signals. And here you can see XTAL1 and XTAL2. These are the crystal oscillator signals that are related to the clock unit, which is going to produce the clock frequency. And you can see here, this is RST, which stands for reset. And here this is EA. EA stands for external access. And here this is ALE, address latch enable, and here it is program. And here PSEN. Okay, so it stands for program store enable. Now we will discuss about all these signals in detail. First here we are saying there are 4 ports available. So first we should know what is meant by a port. Now, so here port means a group of pins that are available in the microcontroller which can be accessed simultaneously. That means here port is a register that is present inside a microcontroller which is connected by the wires to the pins of microcontroller. Generally, if you want to connect anything externally, we need to connect through ports. So using that ports, due to internal wiring connection, they will be going to the 8051 microcontroller. Now, so port represents here the physical connection of CPU with an outside world. So using this port only, the microprocessor will be communicating, or microcontroller will be communicating with the outside world. Next, so microcontroller uses the port. Them means here port. So microcontroller uses the port in order to monitor or control other components or devices. Now, so due to the functionality, some of the pins have twofold roles. That means some ports will be having 2 functions. So as we have seen, except port 1, remaining 3 ports will be having dual functions. So they are called twofold roles. So all port pins can be designated as input or output according to the need of the device that are being developed. Now, so that is what port means. Now we will see the function of all the 40 pins that are available in the 8051 microcontroller. So first we will talk about port pins. Then we will see another operation that is being done using the same pins. So here coming to port 0, two functions are there. One is they act as port signals, IO signals, and another function is it can carry address data signals also. The same pins will be used to carry address and data. So port 0 pins are multiplexed with address and data pins. And the microcontroller is accessing the external memory. These pins will act as address or data pins. Otherwise, they will be simply acting as port pins. So if the microcontroller, there is also possibility to connect external memory if required. So whenever the microcontroller is accessing that external memory, these port signals will be used as the address data lines. If it is not accessing the external memory, they will be used as simple port pins. Now, coming to another port, that is port 1, it is having single operation. So these 8 pins are dedicated for port 1 to perform IO port operations, that is input output port operations. So dedicated means this port 1 is having only single operation. That means they act as simple IO pins only, no other function. And the next port is here, port 2. So in one case they will be acting as port pins, IO pins. In another case they will be acting as address lines, A8 to A15, because here data is only 8-bit, address is 16-bit. So data and address will be multiplexed only to 8 bits. So that is why here only address lines will be there, A8 to A15. So the port 2 pins are multiplexed with the higher order address pins. So when the microcontroller is accessing the external memory, same, these pins will be used as higher order address lines. Otherwise, they will be acting as simple port 2, input output port pins. Another port is port 3. So here port 3, that port is also having two functions. Okay, so the pins that are available in port 3, each pin will be having its individual function. Okay, so the 8 pins are meant for port 3 operation. That means to perform the input output port operations. And also the same 8 pins, they can be used as control signals to perform control operations, like to perform read operation, write operation, or to perform any timer operations, or in order to accept any interrupts. So in order to perform any serial communication like transmitting or reception. So all these control operations will be done by port 3 pins only. So those are the 4 port pins. So only port 1 is called as dedicated port, whereas the remaining 3 ports has 2 functions. Now, so as we have seen control signals that are available in port 3. Okay, so one is RxD. So RxD stands for receive data. So that is the 10th pin in the pin diagram. Okay, so that pin is used for receiving the data for serial input. Receive means input. So through this input signal, microcontroller is going to receive the serial data. And another control signal is TXD. Okay, that is also related to port 3. So 11th pin in the pin diagram is TXD. So it is the serial data transmit pin, which is used to perform the serial transmission. Transmission means sending out. That is why this signal is called the output signal. So through this output signal, microcontroller transmits the data for serial communication. And another control signal is here INT0 and INT1. So these are the 2 interrupt signals which will be communicating with external devices. The microcontroller, in order to connect to the external devices by using these 2 signals only. So in the pin diagram, 12th and 13th pin are these two interrupt signals. Okay. External hardware interrupt 0 and interrupt 1 can be generated through these signals only. So this is called interrupt 0 and this is called interrupt 1. So if you see here, there is a bar indicated on the top. So these two signals are called active low signals. So when these two signals are activated, that means when these two signals are made active low, 8051 will get interrupted in whatever it is doing, and then it jumps to the vector table in order to execute that interrupt service routine. So for example, if you take INT0, its vector value in the interrupt vector table is 0003H, and if you take this INT1, its vector address is 0013H. And so then it starts performing the ISR from the vector interrupt location. So by taking this address of that particular interrupt, it executes that ISR. And another signals are T0 and T1. So these two are the timer signals. So they are the 14th and the 15th pins of the pin diagram of 8051. In order to, so T0 means it is timer 0 and T1 means timer 1. As we know, two timers are there. Each timer is of 16-bit. So they can be connected with a 16-bit timer or counter. In order to connect any timer or counter, it is possible by using these two pins only. And WR bar here, write operation. So this is the 16th pin of 8051 microcontroller. So using this pin, 8051 microcontroller can write to the external memory. Okay. So it writes data to the external memory. It means microcontroller will write data to the external memory. And another control signal is RD bar. It is also active low signal. RD stands for read. So using this signal only, 8051 microcontroller is going to read the information from the external memory. And another two signals are XTAL2 and XTAL1. Crystal oscillator pins, these two are, which is going to produce the clock frequency. So these two signals are the 18th pin and 19th pin of 8051 microcontroller pin diagram. Okay. So these two signals are connected to the external oscillator. I mean, different oscillators are there. Especially these two signals will be connected to this quartz crystal oscillator because it will be maintaining high stability. So in order to produce the clock frequency around 4 MHz to 30 MHz. So clock frequency will be provided by these two signals with the help of crystal oscillator. And another signal is VCC. So it represents power supply plus 5 volts DC supply. And another one is ground. It is the ground connection for 8051 microcontroller. So the power supply, when it is connected to ground, it will be 0 volts. So it is connected to the negative terminal of the power supply because it is ground. And so here RST is another signal. RST stands for reset. When this signal is enabled, the microcontroller will get reset. So here the microcontroller will reset and it terminates all the activities. And upon reset, all the registers will be becoming 0000, but one of the register PC, because PC when it is reset, when the microcontroller is reset, all the registers will be filled with 0000, but the register PC, that is program counter, will be filled with this 0007. And another one is EA by VPP. So here EA stands for external access. So this is active low pin. So this pin is connected to the ground when microcontroller is accessing the program code in the external memory, and connected to VCC when it is accessing the program code in the on-chip memory. So here in one case it is external memory, in another case it is on-chip memory. And another signal is PSEN bar. So this is active low signal. It stands for program store enable. So this is the output pin which is active low. So when the microcontroller is accessing the program code that is stored in the external memory, this signal will be connected to OE, that means output enable pin of ROM. So generally if you see the pin diagram of ROM, OE is one of the pin. So this will be connected to the OE. And another signal is here ALE by PROG. So ALE stands for address latch enable, because in this we have the lower order 8 bits address data multiplexed lines are there. So in order to demultiplex, this address latch enable will be used. So here this is an output pin which is active high. When it is connected to the external memory, port 0 provides both address and data. Okay. So here when it is connected to the external memory, here ALE means address latch enable. When it is enabled, address and data lines will be demultiplexed. And when it is not enabled, address and data lines will be multiplexed. And so this ALE pin will demultiplex the address and data lines when it is enabled. So during flash programming, that is programming of EPROM, this pin also acts as program pulse input. So here that is what PROG. Now, so here are some of the special function registers that are available. So all these are the registers that are available in 8051. Okay. So here ACC stands for accumulator, and here the address 0E0. So all these are the fixed addresses for these particular registers. So if we want to access these registers, we can access by using these through address only. So ACC stands for accumulator. The address is 0E0. Here B stands for B register, that is base register. Its address is 0F0. And here PSW stands for program status word, which is called as flag register. And it is 0D0. And SP is stack pointer. It is register and its address is 81. And DPTR means data pointer. It is a 16-bit register. It can be divided into two 8-bit registers as DPL and DPH. DPL stands for data pointer low byte. Its address is 82. Whereas DPH stands for data pointer high byte. Its address is 83. And here these are the 4 port pins. That is port 0, port 1, port 2 and port 3. And its addresses are 80, 90, 0A and 0B. So the addresses will be in terms of hexadecimal. So instead of 10 and all, we can find here A. And another register is IP, which is called as interrupt priority control. And its address is 0B8. So to all these registers, if you see, to some registers only there is a star indicated on the top. So whatever the address, if there is star indicated on the top, it represents that they are bit addressable. Okay. So bit addressable means we can, during programming, we can manipulate if we want any bit in that particular register. They are not fixed. And we also have this IE register, which stands for interrupt enable control. Its port, address is A8. And another register is TMOD, which stands for timer mode register. Its address is 89. All these addresses are fixed for particular registers in 8051. And TCON stands for timer control register. And it is having the address 88. And here TH0 and TL0. Generally T0 stands for timer 0. It is a 16-bit register. It can be divided into TH0 and TL0. Okay. So timer 0 higher byte and timer 0 lower byte. And its addresses are 8C and 8A. And 2 timers totally. Another timer is timer 1. It is also 16-bit timer. It can be divided into TH1 and TL1. They are timer 1 higher byte and timer 1 lower byte. So here L stands for lower and H is for higher. So their addresses are 8D and 8B. And another register is SCON. So here SCON stands for Serial Control Register and its address is 98. And next register is SBUF. SBUF stands for Serial Buffer Register and its address is 99. And PCON, that means Power Control Register it is. Okay, so P stands for power and CON is for control. So its address is 87. So to these registers also, if you see, there is a star indicated on the top. Okay. Now, so here to whatever the bits there is star indicated on the top, that registers indicates they are bit addressable SFRs. So here bit addressable means any bits, the bit in that register can be manipulated without disturbing the other bits. Okay. So some of the registers are bit addressable. So this is what about the pin configuration of 8051 microcontroller. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.